Have you and your spouse filed for a green card through marriage and you have a Stokes interview coming up and you're wondering what is a Stokes interview, or you've been told to beware Stokes interviews are really tough? Well, a Stokes interview, in short, is a marriage fraud interview. In these interviews, the government is going to try to weed out fraudulent marriages, marriages just to get a green card. If you have a legitimate marriage, the key, of course, is preparation. Essentially, in a Stokes interview, the parties are separated. They're put in separate rooms. One spouse goes to one room, another spouse later goes to a different room or to that same room later. The parties are separated. They're not asked questions at the same time. They're asked the same questions, but they're asked separately because the government wants to see how the answers match. And if they're not matching, of course, the suspicions of immigration fraud are going to go through the roof. The government does this because, according to their studies, 30% of green card marriages are based on fraud. Personally, I disagree with them. I strongly disagree with them. But nonetheless, those statistics are important because they should tell you how seriously the government takes all marriage green card applications. A lot of individuals think that, oh, I can just get a green card easily through marriage. I'm legitimately married. What do I have to worry about? Well, carelessness can lead to suspicions. And oftentimes, individuals are helped by persons or they do it on their own, and it's just not done correctly. There's answers there that cause problems for them. So there's various ways that a Stokes interview can happen, but primarily the Stokes interviews is what is referred to as a second interview. At the first interview, the couple's not convincing. And so then the government calls them back for a second interview where they're separated. However, in all immigration cases related to marriage, green card through marriage, there are going to be Stokes types questions. For instance, even in the first interview, some of the Stokes types questions are slid in very subtly and they're asked. And those questions, if there's some flubbing going on, some people are stumbling, well, it's going to lead the government to think, well, maybe we should do a second interview. Sometimes when the couple files for a green card, the very first petition, when the U.S. citizen spouse files for the immigrant spouse, the government spots what they call red flags. These are indicators that, wait a minute, something may be wrong. Usually it will be some major distinctions. There's a big age gap, there's a cultural gap, there's a religious gap, there's a language gap. And because of issues like that, the government decides not to do a Stokes interview at a second interview, but to do it at the very first interview, even before the petition's approved. Now, in addition, the government may issue a green card, a conditional green card, which lasts 2 years, and then they'll call a couple back. And that second interview, known as a removal of conditions interview, there may be a Stokes type interview that takes place. Or perhaps even when an individual attends a fiance visa interview abroad at a consulate office, or they seek a marriage petition through an embassy, even then there will be Stokes like questions, but it will not be as intense and it will not be as long as the full Stokes interview that takes place normally as a second interview. Or, as I said, when the very initial petition seems suspicious. Now, who has to worry about Stokes interviews? Well, basically, there's two categories of immigrants and immigrants and their spouses. First category, those who are unprepared. And that's who this video is geared to. Those who do not prepare adequately, those who think it's going to be easy street are going to be could be in for a very rude shock. They could be they could really see some major problems occurring in their case afterwards because their answers are just not good answers to the government. And so, if you get a chance to do a first interview that's not a Stokes interview with just a few Stokes like questions, do your best to prepare. Avoid the second interview, avoid the Stokes interview if you can. The other group of individuals who have problems are those who are committing fraud. Obviously, they're committing fraud. And although the questions are really simple, they're really common sense questions, it's the simplicity that leads to this fraud being spotted so easily. So let's go through some of the types of questions. I'm going to break some of the questions down into categories that are my categories. They're not the government's categories. I've been doing green card cases for 3 decades, and so I've broken down questions into general categories, which helps me prepare my clients for their interview so that they know what they have to think about. There is no way that I or anyone else can dream up all the questions that you could possibly ask. But if you know the general contours, if you know the boundaries or how the questions are organized and what categories the questions come from, you will be better off, a lot better off in terms of your preparation. But you've got to do some independent thinking. Now, I'm going to try to help you by going through some categories quickly today. But I also have a 3 set video of questions that can be asked at a green card interview. And I'll give you a link to that below. And I'll also give you a link to a checklist of questions, 250 questions that I've prepared that are going to be similar to the questions that you will be asked. In fact, some of them may be asked. But the idea is not for you to take those questions as gospel, as absolute, but to get you to think of the types of questions. And as you and your spouse prepare, which I hope you do, and you go talk about some of the questions, you also think of other questions that might be asked. So that way you're on the same page when you're separated, if you're separated, and you can answer the questions adequately. Now, of course, someone that's committing fraud isn't going to do all that, and they're not, they're going to be caught because there's going to be other questions come up that's just going to blow them out the water because they haven't thought about it and they haven't memorized it. So they're going to be caught. And in any event, as I always tell individuals when I'm preparing them for an interview, anyone that's committing fraud, I really do hope you get caught, because you're the type of person giving a black eye to all the other honest immigrants in the world that are legitimately trying to win a green card through marriage. So with that, I don't want to make this video too long. Let's move through these real quickly. The first category is how you met. How did you meet your spouse? Where did you meet? Even if you want to think further, like who asked who for their phone numbers first? A second category is weddings and marriages. How many people went to your wedding? Did you leave the wedding before the party ended, or did you stay to the end because you had to pick up? Category number 3, your first home together. When did the two of you first move in together? Did you move into an apartment or a house? What color was it? How many rooms were there? And a lot of other questions can be asked, as I noted, along that same vein. Category number 4, your current home. How many rooms in your current home have a carpet? How many windows are there? And what are the colors of the carpet in your place? Category number 5, general information. What is your spouse's date of birth? What are your spouse's parents' names? Category number 6, employment. What hours and days does your spouse work? Do you know your spouse's boss's name? Is your spouse's boss or direct manager a male or female? Category number 7, your kitchen. Who does the grocery shopping in your house? What is your spouse's favorite vegetable? What is your spouse's most disliked fruit? Category number 8, your bedroom. What side of the bed does your spouse sleep on? Does your bedroom have windows? Where is the toothbrush kept? In a bathroom next to the bedroom or somewhere else? Category number 9, technology. What is the color of your spouse's toothbrush? Or what type of mobile phone does your spouse carry and use? How many televisions are there in your house? Category number 10, what religious holidays do you celebrate? Do you celebrate Christmas? What holidays do you spend with your spouse's family or your family? Category number 11, joint financial records. Do you have joint bank accounts? Who pays the bills? Category number 12, family and friends. What family member of your spouse annoys you the most? Do you spend time with any of your spouse's relatives? If so, who are they? Category number 13, what grades are your children in? Do you know your children's teacher's name? Last Halloween, what characters were they? Category 14, just before the interview, what did you have for dinner last Saturday? Who woke up first this morning? These are the types of very simple questions that will undermine a legitimate marriage. You need to prepare. And for each question I ask, there's tons more in each category that could be asked. I only wanted to provide you with a quick snapshot of the types of questions that you could be asked. If you would like more, you will see a link below to my 3-part video set on green card marriage interview questions. In addition, there's a link to 250 questions, a checklist that I put together for you and your spouse. And I really, really hope that you take preparation seriously. The risk is that you lose your case and you lose the love of your life, and you don't want to do that. So with that, I'm going to close off, and I'm going to wish you and the love of your life the best of luck. And I do hope that after your spouse becomes a permanent resident, after the immigrant spouse becomes a permanent resident, that 3 years later, if you're a U.S. citizen, they seek to become a United States citizen. Take care, and may all the luck in the world be yours. Bye. Thanks for watching. Know someone who might be interested in this video? Then please take a moment to like and share it with them. Also, if you would like more videos on immigration, just click on the subscribe button. And here's a little bonus, a short guide that you can download for free by clicking on the link on the description box or the square-shaped image. Plus, if you have ideas for videos you'd like to see, write a short comment below or feel free to contact me at carlos@VitaraImmigrationLaw.com. My name is Carlos Vitara. I appreciate your time, and hopefully we'll be talking again very, very soon.